Hi Ben, welcome to the London Film Festival. I'm good, how are you?
I'm great.
So what can you tell us about Celeste and why you started this project?
Celeste began as a film that I was wanting to explore some very different relationships, and I guess the original impulse to tell the story changed at about 5 or 6 years ago. And I started to look at the idea of this legacy and pedagogy with a father and son, and after the death of my father, I kind of became really interested in the idea of place and the place we grew up in, and being displaced, and the feeling of abandonment, and how we can be stuck in trauma because of that feeling of abandonment. So yeah, the film kind of explores that, but it's not really about me. It became a fiction after a while, something of its own, and these characters began to become alive, and particularly Celeste, her character began to be this kind of very unusual psychology, which I became really fascinated by. Yeah.
You have a great cast, particularly Radha and Thomas. How was working with them, and how do they prepare? What kind of input did you give them to prepare for the roles?
So I mean, Tom and Radha had communication for a few months before the project, just like Skyping and meeting up in person with Tom, and then luckily I had about 4 days like intense rehearsal with these two, so we got to do improvisations, play out backstory stuff, and really just get them comfortable with each other, so that when we're on the day we can change the script and find the truth, like even if it's not there working, So I was very lucky, very lucky.
What can you tell us about the film scene in Australia?
The film scene. Well, the film scene is it's getting more difficult to make films in Australia than it used to be. Like in the 90s and the 2000s, there was a lot of government money, and it's just been like getting thinner and thinner. So what that means is there's a more conservatism coming in, which is like a pressure for more American product, and they're funding things that are ostensibly American now, and it's globalization is really killing this these individual voices a little bit, the conservative government in Australia, so forth. So I think it's everywhere in the world we're feeling that, a little bit, and you have to find new places to get money for your films.
Finally, what can you tell me about Australian filmmakers? How did they start?
Filmmakers, yeah. I mean, it's really interesting. I think Australian filmmakers, for a long time we felt like we have to be approved of by this government, and I think now there's just beginning to suddenly go, no, let's take it into our own hands a bit, like, because we're so sick of being told how to make a film. And so it's interesting. This film is somewhere between the two, and I think in a way I've managed to make something very pure and of the heart, but still play in that system. But I think it's getting harder and harder to do that, So we'll be making lower budget films. It'll be like rock and roll films,